Oh boy, Stars fans. What a way to welcome us back from a 5-day stretch that we had no hockey. So, if you didn't know, this is the Two Brothers Mic'd Up show. We sit down after each and every Stars game. We talk about what we saw in the last game and give you our thoughts. Stars lose 4-2 to the Anaheim Ducks. We start off each video with predictions from the last video, so always stick around to the end. Quinn, you gave a score of 3-2 for Dallas if they were to win, and you liked a score of 2-1 for the Ducks. I liked a score of 5-2 for Dallas if they were going to win, 3-1 for Anaheim. I think we both realized that Anaheim doesn't score a lot of goals, but they also don't give up a lot of goals. So I think it was mostly on the fact that Anaheim doesn't score a lot that we gave Anaheim scores. But in all out, they actually proved us quite wrong, and they score 4 goals in the first 20 minutes. We have goals from Silverberg, Vatanen, Lindholm, Corey Perry in the first period. Then we go to Janmark, shorthanded, and Jamie Benn for a power play goal in the third period. So, to start things off, I always like when Strader intros the games the way he does, but this one, when he says the Stars are back, refreshed and refocused, not so much. The Dallas Stars did not look good in this game at all. They started off bad. They ended mediocre at best with the kind of effort that they tried to put in towards the end of the game to make it a game. Let's start off with what you saw, Quinn, and how you saw things going.
You know, they started out pretty good, like for the first 2 minutes.
First 2 minutes?
They had hustle, they had physicality, but I mean, after that, it was just they seemed like a team that wasn't going to be scored on 4 times at least in the first period at the start.
Well, I kind of disagree. I didn't feel any kind of energy. I didn't feel any kind of focus from them. This game was very weird from the get-go. I mean, maybe from the first 2 minutes, they might have seemed like they were ready to play, but, I mean, 3 minutes into the game, they surrender a goal, and then 30 seconds later, they surrender another one. So, for anyone to say that the Stars kind of, showed some kind of life towards the beginning, it was very fleeted from the beginning. They weren't back-checking. They weren't playing their defensive positions right. Kari was bad. Not the whole game, I don't blame on him, but goals, I went back and looked at it, and I think goals 2 and 3 are stoppable goals. The first one, it's a tip, okay? I'll give the benefit of the doubt for Kari. And the fourth one was just a nice, pretty play from like a passing, changing the attack 3 different ways from Getzlaf to Perry, and that goal was just pretty. But the Vatanen goal, whenever he just kind of skates in, goes short glove side, which is the place to score on Kari these days. High, glove side, short side. That's where you go to score on Kari Lehtonen. And then the Lindholm goal, of course, Jordy Ben should have not let that pass get across, but whenever you look at how Kari played that game, is how, or that goal, it's kind of a reflection to how the Stars played that game. You can see him backing up a bit, and then he kind of stumbles, and then doesn't get set at all. So when the puck goes through the crease, Kari should not let that puck go through the crease at all. He should have cut the pass off. Jordy should have cut the pass off. Yes, but then he just looks scrambled. He doesn't really seem to be in any kind of position to make that save. It was a forgettable goal and period, to say the least. So going by period, let's take a look at the shots. In the first period, the shots were 19-7 for the Anaheim Ducks. Like, if you want to talk about a team that just wasn't prepared, like, at all to play hockey, you want to look at the Dallas Stars for that first period. It kind of looked like that St. Louis game that they played in the first period, where the game was just already over. And then going into the second period, the Stars only had 6 shots. Again, granted, they kept the Anaheim shots down to 7, but for a team that was trying to get back into this game, they weren't really doing much to get back into it. They had to be gifted a puck shorthanded from Corey Perry. Moen picks it off, sends it to Janmark to even have the Stars have an inkling of trying to get back into this game. And the thing about it was that was very promising because that happened so early on in the second period. But for them to only muster 5 more shots on net, that's worrying, because they just had 5 days off. You know, at the end of the game, watching some of the post-game interviews, we had Jamie Benn talking about they were playing dumb hockey again. And they were. But the thing about it is that Jamie Benn was saying this before they got the break. Jamie Benn was quoted saying the past 3 out of the 4 games, especially on the New York trip, that they were playing dumb, not smart hockey. I mean, where do you think things went wrong, Quinn? Like, do you think they just weren't prepared, or that they just were outplayed? What do you think your opinion is on that?
I think there's a multiple places we can point our finger at. You know, they were mentioning that you give this team this kind of amount of time and there's going to be rust. You know, I think you could definitely tell that they came in rusty. They didn't come in with the same kind of fire that they usually have in these games. And you can see that they start to shake it off little by little throughout the game. But they never really get set in the Dallas Stars way that they have. I feel goaltending probably could have been a little bit shakier, or a little bit better. It was pretty shaky. It seemed like Lettinen kind of got his form back towards the end. You know, he didn't give anything else up. But I would say it's more of just rust coming off of the break.
Well, yeah, I think so too. I mean, Lindy Ruff at the end of the game was saying, he doesn't say it often, but you know, they got outplayed and outworked, which is true because, I mean, every team right now, like he was saying, is in desperation mode. The Ducks have to make up so much ground from the beginning of the season because they came out awful. Their top players have been awful, and they're starting to really turn it on now, which is concerning because the Stars feel as if they think things are just going to get given to them because they started off so strong. The Stars are now 1-3-5, losing 6 straight on the road. I mean, they started off 11-2 on the road to begin the season. So, how there was just this flip, this switch that flipped it has to be concerning. Now, I'm not saying that, the Dallas Stars are doomed and everything like that, but the lack of effort that this team is doing, it has to be concerning, even for the most passionate of fans. If you're one of those fans that just blindly cheers and doesn't have any criticism for this team, I mean, I question that fan because, yes, the Stars are still on like a decent pace, but as of right now, the Stars are going to drop out of the top 5. The Stars are... I'd like for them to compete for the Central Division. I mean, that title is not that important, but having home ice advantage in the playoffs can be pretty good, especially with how the Stars have played at home this season. The Stars need that home ice advantage, I feel. And they're letting it slip away because the Blackhawks have thrown in 10 straight wins to overtake the Stars. We're not winning the President's Trophy because the Capitals just appear to never lose again. But, it was nice seeing our special teams wake up a bit. We get that shorthanded goal, and then we get Jamie to open up, and get his goal in the third period, which was a real, power move to the net. I mean, there's not a lot to say about this game. That you can't just go on and on with the negativities. The bright spots has to be Matthias Janmark. He continues to play his game. It sucks that Sharp didn't get his point streak to extend. I mean, what positives did you take out of this game?
I think you already nailed it. Matthias Janmark's definitely, I would have to say, was the best Stars player out there. He skates hard every second out there. He never takes that short break that, you see some of the superstars in the league take. He's always moving his feet. He's always trying to work to get open. He just has a sense defensively, like he knows when to come back, when to cover for the demon going up so there's never 2-on-1s. And he's just an overall great two-way forward right now.
Yeah, he definitely is. Positives that I take from this game, it's a short turnaround. The Stars are back on the ice tonight against the Sharks. So they don't have a lot of time to dwell on this one. But if the Stars bring the same amount of energy that they did against the Ducks, then there will be a cause for pretty big concern, because I had a feeling that after this little break right here, we were going to see the Stars team that's going to finish the season. Maybe this is just a bump in the road for some smooth sailing from here on out, but I've said this in other videos. February is going to be a nightmare for the Dallas Stars. It is filled with nothing but division teams and top teams to play against. Let's go. Also, there's another thing that I'd like to discuss. And this has nothing to do with the Dallas Stars, but I think it does have to do with hockey fans in general. The John Scott All-Star fiasco that happened yesterday on Friday I was actually shocked. The All-Star game, I like it, but do I truly care about it? No, I don't. I've always kind of liked the All-Star game because it reminds me of being a kid watching those types of things. And hell, whenever the All-Star game was here in Dallas, me and you went to the game. But the whole thing about the NHL and the Arizona Coyotes and Montreal Canadiens with this trade to keep John Scott out of the All-Star game is so dirty that it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth towards the NHL. I love the NHL. I love hockey. I think it's the best sport in the world. But this move right here goes to show that these types of leagues, these powerhouse leagues, kind of like the NFL, don't care about the fans. They don't. They say they do, and they try to have these things that says, oh, you know, we do this for the fans, it's fun for the fans. No, they don't. Look at the NFL. They just took the St. Louis Rams away from St. Louis. That's a franchise that has moved 4 times in its history. 4 times. And this trade for John Scott from Arizona to Montreal so he can be sent down to the minors so he can't play in the All-Star game, it's a complete bitch move. What did you take away from this right here?
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree that this is a bad call and a bad move for the NHL. Like, I know there's a lot of mixed views on it that I've been reading. Like, people are saying that it was just a big joke to vote John Scott in, that he should have never been there in the first place, that it's an all-star game and he's a fighter. But also, you know, they left it to the fans to vote him in, and the fans voted it in. So they obviously, even if it was a joke, they wanted to see him in this game. And he took it with a positive stride. You know, he was like talking how excited he was, how his family's excited. Hell, he was even making T-shirts that I read from a Reddit thread that for his teammates, for the Coyotes to wear while he was at the All-Star game to kind of represent him. And this guy was just genuinely excited about it, you know. He took it with stride. And then it just gets completely stripped away from him just because, you know, he's not a finesse guy.
Yeah, he's not quote unquote an all-star.
Yeah, like that just doesn't sit well with me. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, he didn't deserve to be there anyways, but well, then why did the NHL leave it up to the fans? Despite it being a joke to vote him in, despite the real fans wanting to vote him in, you know, it still happened. Just let it happen. That's how you're going to get fans to watch these games, you know. Now you see all these people saying boycott the All-Star game, we're not going to watch. And I think the NHL made a bad move because, you know, they may lose what was supposed to be a good revenue turnout for them. You know, now it's going to be kind of mediocre.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like, the whole boycotting thing, you don't really need to do because a lot of people don't watch this thing. You even get, like, you get superstars like Yager that was saying earlier that he doesn't want to go to the All-Star game. Like, a lot of these players want the time off. They don't want to go to the All-Star game. John Scott at first was like, well, he felt it was kind of a joke and that he was like, you know, he didn't really want to go. But then once he saw, like, this big outpour that we wanted to make the All-Star, I didn't vote in the All-Star. I didn't even vote for Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin because, you know what? I didn't care to vote. You know, I just didn't care about the All-Star game. I was going to watch, but, you know, I just don't care who gets picked because I had a feeling that Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin were going to get in. But I was very intrigued with the John Scott thing. I think now, am I still going to watch the game? Yeah, because Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin are in it. But a lot of people were like, well, John Scott gets to go and Sidney Crosby doesn't go. Does Crosby really deserve to go? Like, his season started out so bad, that he's just now trying to make up for that. You know, if you know, if the fans felt like Crosby should have been able to go in, the fans would have voted him in instead of John Scott. I think it was a bad move. It goes to show you that these, like, enjoy hockey, but don't enjoy the league that they're in because they honestly don't care about the fans. Let's go into the ratings of the Anaheim versus Stars game. What rating did you give this game?
I gave it a solid D. The first period pretty much killed a lot of the hope the Stars had. They just seemed to always be playing catch-up. The physicality that the Ducks brought just demolished anything that the Stars hoped to do.
Yeah, I would have to say
the goaltending also, you know, that played a huge factor in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave it D+. The first period killed all kind of vibe for me. The plus comes from the Stars limiting shots in the second and third. They tried to bounce back, but it was too little, too late. We've said that enough in the past couple of games, that they only show determination to play when they're already out of the game. They're not hungry enough, and it showed in this game. The Stars play the San Jose Sharks next game in Game 46. What kind of predictions do you have for that?
My prediction is hopefully we see Brent Burns in a Dallas Stars uniform on that game. But, you know, that's just wishful thinking. But as for scores go, I'd have to say if Dallas keeps up this trend to where they're only putting forth minimal effort, I fully expect San Jose to make it hard on them. I wouldn't say win, but I'd say that if Dallas comes on top, it's probably going to be, I'll say 3-2. And if San Jose comes on top, I think it's going to be because they let this game just back into their head. And we'll say 5-1.
Wow. I'm so hoping for a bounce back game. You know, we're gonna have Niemi in net. That's about the only positive that I might see in this game. Score of 4-3 for Dallas. Score of 4-3 for San Jose. That's the discussion. Be sure to like, subscribe. All those good things help us out. Leave any kind of feedback. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like. Help us grow this into something. Remember, this is for fans, by fans. And, as always, tune in next time.